In this video we'll discuss circumference and area of circles. Now the circumference is the length of the edge around the circle. In other shapes we call that the perimeter. If you watch on the right hand side you'll see that yellow circle going around and tracing what is the perimeter of a circle. We can find this by either taking the diameter, multiplying it by pi, which also means we could look at doubling the radius if that's what we're given instead. So say we have this problem where we want to know what's the difference in inches of a 12-inch pizza compared to a 10-inch pizza. Well, when we talk about pizza 10 and 12 inches, we're talking about the diameter of that pizza. So we know that a 10-inch pizza would have a circumference of 10 pi inches, and a 12-inch pizza would have a circumference of 12 pi inches. So the difference between those two would be 2 pi inches, which is about 6 and 2800 inches, which means there's 6 and 2800 inches more edge to a 12-inch pizza than a 10-inch pizza. Now when we talk about the area, we're talking about all the space inside. As you see, everything that was filled in yellow. To find that, we're going to take our radius, we're going to square that, and then multiply it by pi. So often you'll see in books written pi r squared. It's the same thing using commutative property, but often we put the number before pi. So say we take that same problem where we're looking at a 12 and 10-inch pizza. We want to know how many more square inches in area is that 12-inch pizza. So we know the diameter. Well, if the diameter is 10 inches for the 10-inch pizza, we know the radius has to be 5. So 5 squared gives us 25 pi square inches. And you realize that we're dealing with square inches because it's 5 inches times 5 inches, so it's unit times unit. Same thing with the 12-inch pizza. The diameter is 12, so our radius has to be 6. So 6 inches squared gives us 36 pi square inches. So the difference between those two is 11 pi square inches, which is about 34 and 5600 square inches. Now another term you'll hear about is this area of a sector of a circle. And a sector is just a fraction of a circle. So if you're given a fraction, you can use that. But if we're given an arc measure or the central angle measure, the way we can find the area of a sector is we're going to take the area of the circle and multiply it by the fraction of the circle we represent. So it could be the fraction we're given, or if we have that arc measure or angle measure, it'll just be divided by 360 because there's 360 degrees in a circle. So say we think about a typical 12-inch pizza. It's often split into 8 slices, and I want to know how many square inches is each piece of pizza. Well, if I think about it in that case, I'm told how many different pieces, what fraction of the pizza I'm given. In this case, I'm given 8 slices, and I want to check out 1/8 of that pizza. So we still know that our diameter and our radius are going to be 12 and 6. So we know that radius we need for area is 6. And the fraction, again, we're looking at 1 of the 8 pieces, 1/8. So if we put all that together, the area of a single piece would be 1/8 times the quantity 6 inches squared times pi. So we're looking at you square the 36, get 36, divide that by 8, and you're going to get 4.5 pi square inches, which is about 14 and 1400 square inches.